Hey, thanks for joining us here on 90s Plus on this Tuesday. I'm 90s meteorologist Chris Bianchi with a look at your Colorado weather forecast. And once again for today, warm temperatures, probably a bit warmer than yesterday. In fact, we might make a run at 70 degrees for today, which is pretty unusual this late into the fall season. We're going to be about 15 degrees above average, by the way, today. Then tomorrow, we'll start to see maybe a bit of change for us in the mountains with some cloud cover that'll move its way into the high country. And then by Thursday, we'll see some light mountain snow move its way into the high country along north of I-70. For us here along the Front Range, we're going to stay mostly dry and warm probably until the end of the upcoming weekend. Some big differences in the computer forecast models will kind of break that down for you about what we could be looking at for Sunday, Monday, and into next week. Meantime, lots of sunshine overhead here in Fort Collins. A beautiful start to our Tuesday out there here in Fort Collins and into the high country. Lots of sunshine as well. And yes, we're still holding on to some of that snowpack out there into the high country, but pretty tough with temperatures as warm as they are. And Loveland Ski Area opening their doors for business earlier on this past weekend, a couple days ago. Now, in terms of Denver, we had some morning mountain wave cloud cover. That has mostly since dissipated, and that's going to allow those temperatures to really spike on up here as we head over the next little while. Just a kind of look at what our sunrise was earlier on today. And for today, we're going to be warm and dry, highs near 70 degrees. Light mountain snow for Thursday, and then next week it's looking cooler. There's some of that mountain wave cloud cover. Again, we're going to have a mix of sun and clouds for today, just because of some of those mountain wave clouds. Those are caused by the air being forced to go up and over the Rocky Mountains, and as it descends, when you get a little bit of mid-level moisture, you can get those mountain wave clouds to form, and that's what we're looking at right now here along the Front Range. Again, they're fairly hard to predict, but usually when you have straight westerly flow like what we've got right now, that's when you tend to see those mountain wave clouds, and that's what we'll have likely through the rest of today and into tonight as well. Temperatures right now 64 for us here in Denver, likely heading into the upper 60s to near 70 degrees for us this afternoon. Into the mountains, a lot of 40s for us at this point. So for today, becoming sunny, mix of sun and clouds. But again, we'll see more and more sunshine as the day wears on. Temperatures have spiked by a good 5 to 15 degrees here across the eastern part of the state for the most part, especially along the I-25 corridor. A little bit cooler further east. That's because it was so windy yesterday. That wind actually kind of kept things a bit warmer on the eastern plains, but with those lower winds, that's allowing that allowed some cooler, denser air to work its way down towards the surface overnight, and that's why it's a bit cooler in the northeastern corner of the state. Into the high country, temperatures generally a little bit warmer than yesterday. And forecast highs for today, it's going to be a toasty day, 60s, 70s eastern plains, 40s, 50s into the high country. And for tonight, drop down to the upper 40s, low 40s, I should say, for tonight. A lot of 30s and 40s on the eastern plains, and into the high country, mostly 20s and 30s. Tomorrow, similar to today, maybe a bit more cloud cover into the high country tomorrow compared to today. For us along the Front Range, again, probably pretty similar to today overall, with those highs in the upper 60s once again. Again, a lot of 60s, 70s into the eastern plains, 40s, 50s into the high country. Now, our next storm system taking shape here across the desert southwest. This will start to spin its way in our direction tomorrow night. By tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, we'll see some more cloud cover into the high country. And by about noon Wednesday, we'll see some mountain snowfall, mostly in the northern part of the state, and the possibility for a rain shower or two here as we get into the northeastern corner of the state for Thursday night into Friday morning. At this point, again, it looks like an insignificant event. If we did see any rain or snow here on the northeast part of the state, the air mass is going to be very, very dry, so any rain or snow would have a tough time reaching the surface. Into the high country, that's where we'll see some snowfall, and we'll probably see a couple inches of wet snow into the Parks and the Medicine Bow ranges. Those will be the ones most favored from this storm system. So this would be kind of up into, say, Berthoud Pass, and you get a little bit west of there into the Yampa Valley. Now, those would be the areas that would probably see the most snowfall, even into the flat tops of northwestern Colorado. That's where we could see, again, a couple inches of snow above, especially 8,000 or 9,000 feet in elevation. It's going to be pretty high up there in terms of that rain or snow. Now, next week, you see that rain and snow that we've got into the forecast for next Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. The computer forecast model is kind of all over the place about Sunday, Monday in terms of timing, in terms of rain or snow, in terms of basically everything. The one thing we kind of know for next week is it looks colder for sure, and it looks like we'll get some rain or snow somewhere in there. That Sunday through Tuesday time frame. Again, the models, they're so they're all over the map right now, and they're flipping around every run. So kind of flying blind a little bit here. I will just say again, overall it looks colder, it looks wetter, and potentially snowy for Sunday night into Monday. Again, those exact temperatures, those details are lacking. I know that's probably not what you want to hear. It's probably a bit in the way of a bit open-ended, but that's just the reality here, folks. I'll always be honest and try and tell you. Sometimes, I don't know, I kind of made this analogy as well. It's kind of like asking me what the Broncos 2027 season is looking like. I don't know. At this point, it's the computer forecast models are so far away from each other that, again, in terms of timing and everything, they'll resolve those differences probably in the next day or two. I would imagine even by later on tonight, we'll have a better idea about whether we're talking about rain versus snow, a bit more specifics on the timing of things, but sometime between Sunday night and Tuesday, it certainly looks like we're going to cool down with the potential for some rain or snow for us in eastern Colorado. That's about what I got at this point. And again, I know that probably you want more details than that. Hopefully by tonight, maybe we'll have a bit more for you, but probably more tomorrow. For this update tomorrow, I think I'll have a bit more pinned down. I think those models, right now, some of the computer forecast models have an area of low pressure as far north as Cheyenne, Wyoming. Other ones have it out in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Where that develops will determine whether we're talking about maybe some mild dry weather versus maybe even a snowstorm. I don't know. Probably not a snowstorm, but again, just to give you an idea about what we're looking at this point. So just stay with us about next week. It does look colder. I mentioned also for Thanksgiving next week, if you're making those plans, it's not going to be like this week. It's not going to be 60s and sunshine all week long. It is most likely going to be on the colder, potentially wetter, snowy side. Looks like we kind of get two waves in there, one at the beginning of the week, one at the end of the week next week. That's the way it kind of looks right now. And in between, it looks just kind of chilly. So highs in the 30s, 40s, that kind of thing. So if you're making those Thanksgiving plans, definitely make them inside. I don't know. Some years, if it was this week, for example, you'd be able to have that Thanksgiving meal outside, but this year, definitely going to be an indoor year. No doubt about that. So anyways, I've been rambling. One more updates for you coming up at 9 News at 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10 tonight on the 9 News Family and Networks with Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin. So we'll be tracking all this for you. Once again, I'm 9 News Meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Thanks for joining us here on 9 News Plus. Have a great rest of your Tuesday.